Hey everyone, this is Kushal Shivishimali, and first of all, thank you for coming to my YouTube channel and watching this video. If you're new to here, please make sure that you subscribe to the channel, like the video if you like the content, and also make sure that you watch the previous video that was the part 1 in the series of trying to implement portrait bokeh. For those of you who don't know what is portrait bokeh, let me just give you a small introduction. So whenever you buy a phone, right, and you try to take a picture of yourself, sometimes you don't really want all that background noise, to come in your photo. So what you do is you turn on the portrait mode and your face will come highlighted, right, and everything else will be blurred out. That is what portrait bokeh is, and we are trying to implement it using OpenCV. And in the part 1, what we did was it was a really basic approach for those of you who don't remember or who are new. We tried to detect a face and we blurred everything out except the face. So we blurred the whole image, we took the face from the face detection output and we overlaid on that blurred output. So everything except the face was blurred. But the problem is the face detection gives us a square, and our face is not a square, right? At least mine is not, and I'm sure that yours is also not. So how do you crop a circle? How do you crop anything which is not a rectangle or square in OpenCV? It's not exactly cropping a circle, but when you crop it, it will look like a circle because at the end the pixels are, those are coordinates, right? Those are the locations. So you cannot really crop half of it. So that is not possible, but we can get as close as possible to the output we want. So I'm going to show you what's the problem statement, how to go forward. I'm going to explain a little theory part of it, and then we're going to go and try to code that, which will be really quick. So if I'm seeing here, that means I'm seeing the monitor, so do not worry. Anyways, what's happening is, so we have this input image, which you can see I'm in that image and I'm standing, and I have this face. So with the white line, the face detection output will come like a square. It will give us the coordinates of the face, but the problem is we only want this face which is probably an ellipse, but let's try to get closer to a circle, then we can try to get closer to ellipse. So what you want is you don't really want this whole rectangle or square, but you really want is this circle which is trying to circumscribe the square. So as you can see in this image, there is a with this C, this is a circle, and this S is the square. So this C is circumscribing this square, right? So what we really want is we can in this way get rid of these pixels, okay, which are not really face, which are not really the part of the face, right? So most of the part of the face will be in this circle itself. So face and circle, we are just assuming that my face is a circle for now. So how do you do that? How do you crop? Because in OpenCV, how do you crop, right? You can just take the variable and you can pass y to y plus h, which is the height, x to x plus w. So this is how you crop in OpenCV in Python, right? And how do you crop a circle in OpenCV? That is the problem statement. So let's think about it. So what I decided was, let's try to do this thing on this image. Okay, let's first of all add a new channel to this image. Okay, and that channel is going to be transparency channel. So far our image had B, G, R. So I'm going to add another channel called A, or you can call it alpha as well, right? And this alpha channel is what? Transparency channel. So what this is going to do, if it is 0, then my image is going to be transparent. That pixel is going to be transparent. So whatever the background will be, that will be highlighted instead of that pixel value. And if it is 255, right, then it is opaque, right? So the pixel value will dominate. And between that, you can range it from 0 to 255. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the whole image transparent first of all. How does it help? So think about it. My idea was whatever pixels which are inside the circle, okay, let's make them opaque. Okay, let's make sure that they are dominated and everything else should be transparent. What happens is when we save that image as a PNG file on a plain background, those things will not be visible for now. So the first step is to try and add an alpha channel to it, or a channel. I'm just typing a for here. Okay, once you have an alpha channel, you try to make it 0 for the whole image. Okay, for the whole image, make sure that the fourth channel, according to index, it will be 3. The third index is 0 for all the pixel values. Okay, that means everything will be transparent. Now let's go ahead and detect a face. Once we get the face, let's try to find the circle. How do you find the coordinates of the circle? Think about it. So I'm going to explain it now. Suppose you have a circle which is circumscribed in this square. Okay, it might not be accurate, just leave that part out. Okay, so you have, what do you have right now? As I told you, from phase detection we will get width, we will get height, okay, and also we will get this point. So we will get width and height and this point right here, right? So from using that you can find this coordinate, right? This is very easy. What will this be? So let's assume that this is what? TL comma sorry, let's say TLX and TLY. So this coordinate is TLX and TLY. Then the center will be what? So center will be TLX plus W by 2 comma TLY plus H by 2, right? So if you think of it, this is what? TLY plus H by 2, and this is what? W by 2. This length is W by 2, and then we can just say TLX plus W by 2. So this is going to be the coordinate of the center of the circle. And what will be the radius? So radius will be what? Either you can take width by 2 or height by 2, right? Because if it's a square, then anyways width and height will be equal, so you can take either of them. But in the case of rectangle, those will not be equal, right? So what you can do is, instead of doing this, you can take whatever that is maximum, because we do not really want to miss any pixel. So let's take maximum of W by 2 and H by 2. So that will be our radius. But to be to be fair, this phase detection will give us a square, so that's completely fine. So anyways, this will give us the radius and this will give us the center. And you know the equation of a circle, right? Everybody knows. If you're not sure, then this is the radius. So this will be the equation of circle. So it depends where you're coming from. These values can change, but overall this r is the radius. X and y are the general coordinates. A and B are the coordinates of the center. You can just, so how do you make sure, how do you find out which pixel value is inside this circle, which pixel value is outside this circle? How do you do that? It's very easy, guys. All you have to do is, you have to take any point, right? And if x minus a whole square plus y minus b whole square minus r square, now if it is greater than 0, that means the distance between that point and the center, so this the distance between this point and the center, which is a comma b, and this is x comma y, if it is greater than the radius, right? If this is greater than the radius, that means this is outside, right? And if it is less than or equal to 0, if it's equal to 0, that means it's on the boundary. If it is less than 0, that means the point is inside the circle. So from there we know that which pixel coordinates are inside the circle, which pixel coordinates are outside the circle. So once you know that, all you have to do is, so once you know which pixel values are actually inside the circle out of this whole image, right? So out of this whole image, you know that only these pixel values are the face. Okay, and this is a circle, by the way. Okay, so the basic aim is to try and crop a circle. So we know these coordinates, we know which pixel coordinates are inside this circle. All we have to do is, earlier we made the whole image transparent, right? Everything, the alpha channel, the A channel was 0 for all the pixels. Now for here, we will make A is equal to 255. That means now only this is the opaque, okay? So the output, how will it look like? I will explain. But then only this will be visible to you, apart from everything else in the background. So only face in the cropped way, in the circular fashion, will be visible to us. So that's the way how you can crop a circle. And let's talk about it, how to do that. Okay. But you guys get an idea, right? How to move forward. All you have to do is try and make sure that everything else is blurred out and this is visible. So that will be our output. So anyways, let's go ahead and talk about how to implement it. And then we can, of course, come back to the theory part if it's not clear. Alright guys, so let's start coding. I'm just gonna open my terminal here. Okay, so I've done this before in my live session as well. If you're curious, if you have a lot of doubts, you can go back to the live session. I have pasted the link in my description down below, so you can check that YouTube video and where I have answered all the queries. Or if you have any more queries, you can post down below in the comments, and make sure that you join my live session every Saturday and Sunday. We can talk about it and discuss face to face, or you can come in the chat and we can talk about it. All right, so let's try and code this out. Okay, it's gonna be real fun. So let's make this file called part2 main.py, and as always, we're gonna read an image first because that's the first part, right? So let's divide this in step by step. Okay, let's make a main function and try to get an image path. So this is just a sophisticated way to write, instead of putting an if and else condition in 3 or 4 lines, instead of doing that, you can just have the image path in a variable called img underscore path in just one single line. So this is a good way, this is a good programming practice, and I hope this is clear. So let's try to read the image. Okay. I'm using imread unchanged just to make sure if the image is of different type, it should be read that in that way. But you can just use one as well, which is just a code for imread underscore color to read that image as a color image, right? Make sure that if the image is not read properly, it might be that image is corrupt or anything, then it should return an error or just a message and it should exit. So let's do this. So after printing this message, we can just say that we are exiting. Now let's go forward and talk about how do you add a new channel to this image. So it's very easy, guys. All you have to do is just like how we convert the image from BGR to gray, you can convert this BGR image to BGRA, which is what? So convert BGR to BGRA, which from A stands for alpha channel, which is the transparency channel, right? So all you have to do is img underscore transparent is equal to cv2.cvt color img, and you have to use this code BGR to BGRA. All it does is it adds an alpha channel to this, right? Now moving forward, all we have to do initially, let's make everything transparent. Okay, let's make sure that nothing is visible. Okay, so how do you do that? All you have to do is let's do this. I'm gonna do it in very basic way. It might be like it's really performance. It might not be performance efficient, performance wise efficient, but we can always try to optimize it later on. Okay. The first thing is try to get an output which we really want. So let's go ahead and do this for rows in image.shape0. So image.shape0 gives you height. That means the rows, right? And for columns in image.shape of 1, which gives you width. So then those will be the columns. And let's get this thing img underscore transparent, and I can just say rows and columns. This probably should be columns and rows. No, yeah, probably. But let's see if, okay, we can just check this out later on as well if we are wrong. So if we set it to 0, that means we are trying to make the image fully transparent. So let's just say that make the whole image transparent. Okay, and once you're done, all you have to do is write this image, but make sure you're writing this image as PNG because this transparency channel only works with those kind of extensions like file formats. So let's write this image to output.png and img underscore transparent. Okay, and I'm gonna run this code. Okay, all right. I can just convert this to, okay, just a small mistake, guys. Okay. So here what you have to do is do range. That is it. And let's try to run this thing. Okay, so I was wrong here. So it will be rows and columns because it takes the y coordinate first. So guys, there's so many libraries which use different format. So OpenCV uses the y coordinate first while slicing. That's why I'm passing rows first and then columns. This will work. And let's go and take a look at the output. So this is the output.png for now. As you can see, this is completely transparent, right? We had this sample image, but our output image looks like this, right? So we have added an alpha channel, and let's go ahead and try to detect a face and make it transparent. I mean, not the face, but everything else transparent. So how do you do that? First of all, that's the very basic part of it. So let's code a function called detect face, which takes an image as the input, right? It takes a face. So let's initialize. First of all, we have to initialize the face detector class. So cv2.cascade classifier, and we have to pass the model path. I'm using path hack cascade frontal face default.xml, which is also available in the OpenCV official GitHub repository. The link will be down in the description if you want to download it. And there you go. That is it, guys. And all you have to do is store it in a variable face detector, let's say. So what's the next step, guys? You have to do is you have to detect the face, right? And scale factor, I've explained this in the previous video, guys. If you're curious, you can just check the previous video or also the live session where I talked about it. So I'm just taking the default arguments because those work well for my image. You can change them and try to experiment with it. It returns a 2D array. That means it will return you, if there are multiple faces in it, it will be in this format, face 1, face 2, and up to that, right? And every face, the format will be top left X, top left Y, width and height. So every face will be of this format, right? So all you have to do is return faces. Okay, let's try to get this down here. So we are trying to detect the face from the given input image. Okay, I will call this function detect face and I'll pass my image to it. Okay, I'm not passing the transparent image because why? Right? And also make sure that you convert this to a grayscale image because that is how it takes it. So I'll just convert this into grayscale as well. So here I've just converted this to grayscale and trying to detect the faces out of it. I got the faces from here. Okay. If I didn't get any face, if I say that I got no faces in it, so let's just print a message. Okay, and let's say just I'm exiting. Okay, but what next? You got the faces. Now let's iterate through each face. Right now this will work for one face, so I'm just gonna work for one face now. So whatever the first face is, I'm gonna work with it. You can of course put a for loop and try to make it for all of them. So I'm just gonna keep it very simple, and that is it. So let's try to get the first face. Okay, and what you have to do next is, so the next part is let's try and crop a circle. Okay, so how do you crop a circle? I told you have to get the center and radius and get an equation. If that value is greater than 0, that means it is outside. If that value is less than or equal to 0, that means it's either on the boundary or inside the circle. So let's try to crop a circle. How do you do that? Think about it, okay? It's very easy. I told you, right? So let's iterate. All we have to do is let's iterate. So right now I'm iterating through the whole image for all the pixels, and that is not really required. All you can do is you can iterate through the face coordinates that we got from here, but I'm just doing it, just an easy way for this. You can of course iterate through the face coordinates. So let's try to iterate the whole image. So I'm doing the same. Let's keep it the same for rows in range, and here I'm going to use transparent image for calls in range and the underscore transparent, right? Then what you have to do is you have to make sure you have to check if inside. So we'll make a function called check if inside. If this pixel is inside the circle, so all I have to do is image transparent, right? What I'll say is I'll say okay, image transparent, rows and columns. This pixel value, if this is inside, and I'll just pass the center and radius. Okay, if this is inside the circle, if this is true, okay, then what you have to do, you have to set the transparency to back to 255. That means make it opaque again. Okay, then I have to do this. That is it. Okay, so if the point is inside the circle, That's it, okay? So let's go ahead and try this thing out. But before that, you of course have to get the center and radius. So let's try to get a center and radius. As I told you already that the center and radius were what? So the formula for center was what? TLX plus W by 2, comma TLY plus H by 2. Radius was max of W by 2, comma H by 2. So it's very easy, guys. All you have to do is remember the phase, whatever phase format was, TLX, comma TLY, comma W, comma H. So you can just say TLX is equal to phase of 0, TLY is equal to phase of 1, width is equal to phase of 2, height is equal to phase of 3. Okay. And TLX means top left x coordinate, TLY means top left y coordinate, W and H are obvious, width and height. So let's do this. So you get the center from here, which will be what? TLX plus int of W by 2, TLY plus int of H by 2, right? And here the width, radius will be what? Max of int of W by 2. I think we don't need to do int here, but that's fine. I'm just doing it precautionally. But there you go. Okay. And you could have just put int outside of max as well. These are small things. I'm damn sure that you guys can look at it. And of course, when I'll put the code on GitHub, those will be really clear. Okay. So everything will be better there. For now, I'm just trying to explain how it works. So all we are doing is we got the center and radius. That means whatever we are passing to check if inside function, that's the first pixel value which I'll get, of course, from this center and radius I got. So let's go ahead and implement this function, which will check if that point is inside or not, right? Inside or not. So, okay, for those of you who, I understand that many might not just see this code. So I just zoomed out, sorry. So this is what center and radius I'm writing here. And we are just passing these values to this function called checkif inside. Let's go and implement this function, which will take a point, it will take a center, it will take a radius, right? Right? And it will return true if inside or on the boundary, else false otherwise. Okay. All right. I mean, TK is just a word for okay. All right. So this is, let's go ahead and try to check if that point is inside the circle or not. So let's make an equation of it. So what's the equation of the circle I told you? It's going to be what? Point minus center of 0. Okay, let's take point of 0. That means the x coordinate. The x coordinate of the center whole square plus point of 1 minus center of 1. That means the y coordinates of both of them whole square minus radius square, right? If you remember from the from our image, when I was drawing, I told you what will be the equation of circle, right? And this is what it will look like. Now, if this equation value is greater than 0, that means the point is outside the circle. So all I have to do is return false. Okay. Else, of course, we can just say return true. Okay. You could have done this in one line as well, but just to add comments and all, I did this in this way. Okay. So I can just say point is on the boundary or inside the circle, right? So let's go back here, and all we have to do now is check if this works. So of course there might be things that might not work, but also let's try to write the output here. Let's say output phase cropped.png and img underscore transparent. Let's see the output. Okay, it ran without any errors. That is nice. Okay, I think we did something wrong. So here's the face output, right? And I think here. So let's go and take a look at it, because face of 0 gives x coordinate, right? Okay, okay. All right. Is there anything wrong? I can quickly take a look. TLX plus int w by 2, TLY plus int h by 2. So those are the centers. Radius is what we got from here. This is completely fine. Like if I'm just checking if that is inside or not. And all right. If this is true, then you say that you try to make it this, right? So, okay, okay. I think I know what's going wrong. But. Okay, let me just print the face. Print faces as well, just to check if what faces we got from here. Sorry, right? So we got these faces, right? 134, 74, 73, and 73. And let's go to part to main.py and see which coordinates are actually inside this thing. So what I'm gonna print these rows comma columns, which will be in the format of y comma x, right? Okay, so this is pretty sure that we had our coordinates as 170 or something for our face, but these coordinates are 472 in this form. So we are very sure that we did something wrong here. So let's go ahead and correct this thing out. Okay. So I think it's doing just opposite, and that's the problem. So there's probably something going wrong here. So we said okay, okay. Uh, okay, what if I do? I'm just gonna check if probably my equation was wrong. Because my equation was not wrong. Probably we didn't calculate the center well. Int w by 2, tlx and tly plus int h by 2. We took the max of it, right? And check my code which was there. So I think I'm also doing the same, right? Center radius and I'm passing column and row. Okay. Oh, all right. I got it, guys. So what's happening is I forgot that we don't have to pass this because this is the pixel value. This will be the pixel value. Instead, we have to pass the coordinates, right? Because we are comparing with the coordinates. So we have to say that x comma y will be in this format. So I'm doing this on recording, guys, because that is how debugging happens. I do not want to be like others who come very prepared, see the code and copy it. I of course prepared myself, but then there's some things that can go wrong. So what was going wrong? I was passing the pixel value instead of coordinates, but this should work. And let's just ignore this thing and run this code again and see if this works. So I'm gonna do XVG open and alright, guys. So I'm damn sure you see the output now. This is a cropped circle here. So you can see that this has been cropped and everything else is transparent except the face. So I'm damn sure that many of you realize that this is not actually a circle if you keep zooming in. But if you see from outside, because that's what matters, right? Nobody will zoom in on the picture in this way. So this will still be a circle, right? And we have cropped a circle out of it, right? And what next? How do you do this? Okay. How do you go forward? How do you go forward? Okay, we have, so now we know that for those pixels which are actually the face, for those the fourth channel is 255. For everything else, the fourth channel is 0. So what I can do is I can, for whatever pixels, the value whichever wherever there is 0, then I can just say put that blurred image out there. Wherever there is 255, do not do anything with it. So what I'm going to do, okay, let's do this thing. Okay, I'll do it here. Blur the whole image. First of all, we have to make sure that we blur the whole image. How do you do that? We have discussed this before, right? Let's take the image and pass the kernel size. I'm going to pass 13 comma 13 for now. You can reduce it, of course. 13 comma 13 is too much, but I'm just going to do this so that people see the difference. Okay, and I'm going to store it in blur output. Okay, now again I'm going to iterate through all the pixels. If the pixel value, the fourth, that means the third index is 0, that means it's outside the face, then I will just replace it from the blur thing, except that if it's inside the face, I'll keep it as it is. So I'm going to show you how to do this. For rows in range, img transparent.shape 0. Again the same for loop, guys. Now what I'm going to do is, if if the value, that is img underscore transparent rows and columns of 3 is equal to 0, that means they were opaque and outside the face. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to replace it with, okay, so I can just play with the original image variable. I don't really need img underscore transparent, okay. So all I can do is I can just say img of rows and columns is equal to blur of rows and columns, okay. Else all, we don't have to do anything, right? This will work for everything. For all the pixels which are not inside the face, we will replace with the blurred image, and everything else which was inside the face will stay as it is. So let's try to get the output. Okay, I'm gonna write the output to output portrait bokeh .png, and I'm gonna route the img image. Okay, let's see if this works. Okay, this seems to be working. And okay, so guys, of course, this is if you guys cannot see it, let me zoom it for you. So right in this part of video series, I have cropped a circle. I have made everything blur except the face, right? So this is what's happening. We took the face, we got the center and radius. Whatever points which were inside this circle, we kept them as it is, and everything else, we made sure that everything else is blurred out. So that is how we use transparency channel here. You can just add a flag to it as well, but transparency channel is really, I think it's the easiest way to get out of it. Okay, and you can of course optimize this thing. You can play with the for loops as well, but that is up to you. I will leave that to you guys to explore and keep doing this stuff. For now, I think that is it. I understand that people might say that I didn't come prepared. I might have some errors within that video, but that's completely fine. This is how development happens. You get some errors, you play with some things, you check the documentation, you go back and try to code. So that's what I'm trying to say as well. This is the way development happens. And I hope you like this video, guys. And please make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Please share, please make sure that you like the video if you like the content, and leave something, just a small message for me in the comments as well. I will really appreciate if you have any words for me, good or bad. I will always take it, okay. And of course guys, take care of yourself. Thank you for watching this video. This means a lot, and stay tuned. Also make sure that you subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell icon, because whenever I go live you will get the notifications, and that's just going to help me. Follow me on Instagram at prshimali_yt. You will get all the profile links on my description, and you can of course check out my GitHub repo where the portrait bokeh code is also available. But we're gonna shift to part 3 of this video series, and we're gonna talk about it in the next video, how to get closest to portrait bokeh. I hope you like this video. Thank you, and have a really nice life ahead, guys.